It all began with a war between two mighty deities. A conflict with dire consequences. The fighting rent the very fabric of our world. As the crack deepened, it has spread like the grasping roots of a tree.
Et bonjour tout le monde, comment allez-vous? J'espère que ça va bien pour tout le monde. Je pose une question et je réponds en même temps, c'est bien. C'est très très bien. J'en perds mes mots du coup. Donc j'espère que vous allez bien, que vous passez une très bonne, enfin que vous avez passé une très bonne matinée et que vous avez passé une très bonne après-midi aussi. Si jamais le contenu vous plaît, n'oubliez pas un petit like, un follow ou même un commentaire, ça fera toujours plaisir, même s'il n'y en a que un sur les trois, ou voire juste le follow, c'est déjà bien. Je demande pas plus. Donc ici on va reprendre l'histoire là où on en était arrêté la dernière fois. Donc c'est un jeu narratif avec enfin quand je dis narratif, c'est comme si vous lisez une histoire. Il y a une voix off qui va expliquer, enfin qui va dire un petit peu vos contenus, ce que vous faites dans le jeu, qui va aussi vous orienter dans le jeu. Donc n'hésitez pas à non là je me trompe. J'allais dire n'hésitez pas à vous follow ou autre. Mais n'hésitez pas à prendre le temps de lire et tout, parce que les voix off sont en anglais, mais c'est traduit en français, ce qui est très bien. Donc je vais souvent me mute pour laisser le personnage parler derrière. Donc sur ce, on va reprendre l'histoire où on en était. Hop là. Let's go. Alors, j'en étais où?
A thought suddenly occurred to Farhad. He asked Anahita if she too had heard the whisper in the Revelations realm. You're not insane, if that's what you're asking, she said.
Alors, donc comme je disais, le jeu est avec les voix en anglaise, mais sous-titré français. Là, il y a quelque chose.
Do you recall the moment you fell in love? Anahita asked. It was when she gave me her earrings for building the milk canal. Farhad said, I had not dared hope her kindness could match her beauty. Why were you in the Dark Realm? Farhad asked Anahita. I sought the source of the whispers, she replied. Once, there were many, but they all faded away. All save one. The Div captured me before I could enter the fortress, Anahita said. I became trapped as a hoopoe, unable to speak. my way, and different ones, Farhad thought. If only I had Anahita's wings. Farhad asked Anahita what she meant by atoning for past mistakes. The goddess sighed. I was tasked with giving the holy sign to the just ruler. I gave it to the wrong person. Chaos spread through Persia. I was cast out.
Je change régulièrement d'arme, comme ça au moins je varie un petit peu sur le live. Alors certes, à mon avis, le choix d'armes doit avoir son efficacité au combat, mais je trouve pas les combats très durs. Et salut Abdel, comment tu vas? Bah écoute, ça va bien. Un peu froid, mais bon. On fait comme on peut avec le temps. Alors, la harpie d'apport. Pourquoi je fais la harpie d'abord? Parce que son attaque est difficile. Enfin, pas difficile, mais...
I'm sorry that you were cast out, Anahita, Farhad said. You have nothing to be sorry about, the goddess replied. But I appreciate the sentiment. I was defenseless. I had nothing, until Allseeds gave me a branch, and I built a weapon. The pickaxe, Farhad surmised. It is yours. Anahita shook her head. No, it is yours.
La harpie, elle a une attaque qui est à tête chercheuse, donc du coup, un peu plus compliqué. Enfin, pas compliqué, plus casse-pied à esquiver. J'ai oublié de faire un truc. Voilà. Alors ça fait quoi Abdel de devoir streamer avec la cam du téléphone? Ça me paraît logique. Ouh, le fameux. Raté.
What was that giant creature? Farhad said. A guardian Div, Anahita replied. Come, we must be close to my temple now.
Il était grand, mais pas très dur.
Farhad gazed upon the sigil with wonder and fear. Is that the holy sign? Yes and no, Anahita said. I built this one of many. It is based on the design that Ormazd gave me. Ormazd was not a name Farhad was familiar with. Ahura Mazda, the Lord of Wisdom, Anahita clarified. Suddenly, Anahita spoke with great fervor. Now my temple is safe. We can use this to finish what we started. Farhad refused to acknowledge what he had seen. He thought he must be mistaken. It appeared that he had already been to the Fortress of Oblivion, but he had emerged alone. How could I have left Shirin to her suffering? He thought. Guilt took hold.
Ou un petit tremblement.
Wisdom to rival her beauty, Anahita said. She knows to seek help from a higher power. A life is a daunting prospect, the goddess continued, if one does not share one's troubles with others.
Toboggan.
Farhad furrowed his brow. Should we not have gone to the Revelations realm? He asked. Yes, Anahita replied. But the holy sign revealed something unexpected. Allseed's heart was a memory stone. It holds a memory like a sponge holds water, Anahita explained. Like the ones you have excavated in Mount Bistun. But the engraving on Allseed's heart was incomplete. They needed to find the last temple to fully restore the memory.
Vu? J'avais pas vu.
What do you know about these memory stones? Farhad asked. Better I show you, Anahita said. With great trepidation, Farhad took his pickaxe to Mount Bistun once again.
Alors, que va-t-il dire? J'ai déjà été dans la forteresse de l'oubli. Comment cela est-il possible? Et pourquoi en suis-je sorti seul? Toutes les réponses doivent être dans ce lieu infernal.
And then, the goddess spoke a word beyond Farhad's understanding. Returning to the Revelations realm brought a lump to Farhad's throat. Dread shuddered down his spine. We shouldn't be here, he said. The Div, Bistun, it will... It cannot hurt us, Anahita interrupted. Trust me. Anahita was right. Bistun pounded against the red mist, but could not force its way through. Anahita became animated. "I have found the key to the memory stone," she said. She told Farhad that a single word was engraved on it, only visible in the Revelation Realm's strange light. "Oblivion. What does that mean?" Farhad asked. "It is the key to all Seed's heart," the goddess said. "It is where our friend now rests."
Youhou, toboggan. Alors, par ici.
"Is that you?" Farhad asked Anahita. Anahita's voice was quiet and strained. "Yes, this is the memory of my imprisonment."
Et par où je dois aller maintenant? Ici.
The engraving featured 3 people. On the right was Anahita in human form. On the left, Farhad's love, Shirin. "But who is the man in the middle?" Farhad asked. Anahita sighed. "My greatest mistake." Farhad staggered as the earth growled and shuddered beneath his feet. The beast, caged for now, was banging on the bars with blows so mighty they crossed realms. "We have Bistun's attention," Anahita said. "You must confront it." I'm not ready," Farhad said. "How can I defeat such a creature?" Anahita spread a wing. "Look around. Look at what you've created. How far you've come. There is greater strength inside you than you care to acknowledge. Fear is inevitable, but you must not let it control you. If you do, then you have already lost. Follow me," Anahita continued. "I owe you answers." "He is my great mistake," Anahita said. "I chose him, and I chose poorly." "How does this help me defeat Bistun?" Farhad asked. Anahita sighed. "You still have much to learn, human. Patience, for one. Everything has a weakness," the goddess said. "Humans, Div, even gods." But before Anahita could say what Bistun's weakness was, she told Farhad they first had to address his.
Je l'ai entendu, mais pas vu par où il est parti l'oiseau.
guardian Deve, the usurpers of my... Anahita trailed off. Wait, someone is nearby. Farhad blinked. His jaw dropped. He couldn't believe who stood before him. She was more graceful than a swan, more beautiful than a moonlit lake. Farhad knew he should have felt only relief at seeing Shirin safe. But to his great shame, his happiness was tinged with chagrin. He had dreamed of saving her from imprisonment, yet here she stood. How did you escape? Farhad eventually said, his voice trembling. Escape, Shirin said, with furrowed brow. Why would I need to escape my castle? I have been there since you built the milk canal. But, you whispered to me, Farhad began. You are not well, Farhad, Shirin said. I have come to plead with you to stop this madness. But Shirin, my love, I do all this for you. Shirin cast down her eyes. I am sorry if I have misled, but you must know, I do not love you. With those words, the bottom dropped out of Farhad's world. But he had no time to brood.
Salut Kat, désolé, je parle pas quand il y a la voix off. Comme ça, au moins, je ne perturbe pas l'histoire. Comment vas-tu?
Hurry, Anahita said. She is in grave danger. Forget her harsh words. Prove that you are worthy of her affection. And though Farhad was frightened, his mind racing, he knew what had to be done.
Je vais très bien, bah, après, quoi de neuf, la routine, quoi. Comment je peux le taper, lui? Eh non, c'est pas un jeu que j'ai acheté. Ok, donc lui, effectivement, il me fait mal. Mais comment moi je peux le toucher? Ouh, j'ai presque plus de vie là. Ok, et je vois plus ou moins comment. Ma première mort dans ce jeu.
Hurry, Anahita said. She is in grave danger. Forget her harsh words. Prove that you are worthy of her affection.
Donc je dois esquiver un maximum de coups jusqu'à ce que je puisse taper les rochers autour. Et à mon avis, c'est les rochers qui vont lui réduire des PV.
And though Farhad was frightened, his mind racing, he knew what had to be done.
Ben, je veux bien monter sur sa main, mais tu vois bien qu'il touche pas la plateforme, donc je ne sais pas. Donc à part éviter les coups, courir comme un zouave partout, pour perdre le moins de PV possible. Voilà, je suis resté dedans. Et malheureusement, j'ai rien pour régénérer les PV, quoi. J'ai pas de potion, j'ai rien de tout ça. Ok, casser le caillou, ça me rend des PV. Mais ça lui a pas retiré des PV. Et maintenant, je suis passé par là.
The bell would not peal, her small eyes brimming with sorrow. Anahita caught Farhad's despairing stare. Save her, the goddess said. Do not make a mistake as grave as mine. Anahita fought hard, but could not withstand the Diev's might. Farhad wept, for he had lost another friend to Bistun. Despite Shirin's cruel rebuff, Farhad longed to help her, but he could make no sense of her injuries. He gripped Allseed's amethystine heart as the drowning man clutches the rope. I failed you, he whispered to the stars. Please, show me what to do. And then, a memory floated to the surface. A single word. Oblivion. Don't give up, Farhad pleaded. Stay with me. Farhad cradled her in his arms, as if she were made of porcelain, and he saw something wonderful, the slight rise and fall of her chest.
Ah, ça n'avait pas l'air si compliqué quand même pour un boss.
I will take you home, princess, Farhad whispered. The rain ran down his craggy face in rivulets, masking his tears. Perhaps you do not love me, he said, sobbing. But I fought a mountain for you, and I put trusting friends in harm's way. And selfish as it may be, I would do it all again. As Farhad walked, Shirin started murmuring. Farhad leaned close. She whispered but a single word. Khosrow. Suddenly, it all made sense to Farhad. The stone carving. The two were the perfect couple. The king of Persia and the princess of Armenia. How could a lowly sculpture question such a union? Suddenly, Farhad ground his teeth as a great fury washed over him. Not at Shirin, or even Khosrow, but at himself. What was I thinking? How could a princess love someone like me? But it doesn't do to wallow in self-loathing, and other questions wormed their way through Farhad's anger. If not Shirin, then who does the whisper belong to? How could he defeat Bistun and enter the fortress of Oblivion? Why even try now? Farhad was ashamed by his selfish musings. What happened to Anahita? He thought. Does she need my help?
J'espère qu'on va pas faire toute la map parce que le trajet va être long. Surtout à cette allure.
Lost in his wretched thoughts, Farhad nearly failed to notice something alarming. Shirin's dainty feet were turning gray. I can't feel my legs, Shirin mumbled. Shh, be at peace, Farhad reassured her. You will be all right, as Anahita was. Shirin furrowed her brow. Anahita? Farhad swallowed and drew in a deep breath. She is your guardian. She risked everything to help me. He trailed off with a hoarse croak.
Ah, au moins on a le temps de discuter entre les conversations du jeu. Et je me serais douté que c'était là, vu le cercle.
I should check the rift is still sealed, Farhad thought, recalling the memory stone.
Elle était où encore cette feuille?
What does the statue hold? Farhad wondered. Greetings, Farhad. My sources tell me you are a man of your word. Perhaps I should be impressed, but reports of your engravings give me cause to question your sanity. I had thought that when Princess Shirin herself revealed that she does not return your love, you would cease your efforts. If you must persist, so be it. I will not stand in your way. Just remember that I require complete, unhindered passage through Mount Bistun. Only then will I grant you your wish. Know that I have sent my best horsemen to bring the princess home. In the meantime, you are responsible for her safety. Your king, Khosrow. Something about Khosrow's tone set Farhad on edge. When the riders came, he decided to be absent.
Ah, c'est par où du coup?
My lady, Farhad began, forgive me. I could sit here by your side for 100 years and the gentle rise and fall of your chest alone would sustain me. Farhad swallowed a sob. But I cannot stay. Anahita, the one I mentioned. I must find her. But do not be afraid. The king's men approach like thunder. You will be safe with them. Safer than you ever will be with me. And with that, he gently kissed his love on the forehead and resigned himself to never seeing her again.
Ok. Ouais, sans le pieuvre, hein, c'est dur. Enfin, c'est dur. Pas évident de savoir où je dois passer. À mon avis, c'est là, parce que la porte, elle a été grisée.
Princess Shiren traveled here alone. Farhad tried to reassure himself. Harm will not befall her. The choice was a difficult one, but Farhad could not abandon his friend. After all, both he and Shiren owed Anahita their lives. And while a broken heart may ache for years, death happens but once. Perhaps Anahita's last temple would suggest her whereabouts.
Alors, j'ai donc 6 petits arbres à purifier. Un 6 terrains de combat comme celui-ci.
Khosrow's letter was condescending, haughty, oppressive. Shiren would no doubt be safe with the king, but at what cost?
Allez, un peu de lecture. J'avais cru trouver un remède, mais je me suis trompé. Hier soir, je mangeais des grenades cueillies sur le pilier du monde. Je n'arrive pas à m'arrêter. Certaines étaient amères, d'autres étaient sucrées. Mais plus j'en mangeais, plus j'avais faim. Quand tout à coup, ma douleur disparut. Mais ma joie ne dura pas. Ma vieille blessure se mit à briller de plus en plus intensément. De la lumière jaillit de ma poitrine. Et la douleur empira à chaque seconde. J'ai été obligé d'arracher l'améthyste. La douleur m'a fait perdre conscience, mais la lumière emplissait toujours mes yeux. Quand je suis revenu à moi, le tronc du grenadier portait des stries lumineuses. Après cela, je le jure, j'ai vu l'arbre bouger.
Farhad's fingers brushed Allseed's heart. So that is how you came to be, he muttered. Farhad had failed to ring the giant bell in the battle against Bistun. If I had been able, he thought, perhaps Anahita would still be here. A memory stirred as Farhad stared at the smooth, gray stone of Shirin's statue. Her foot, her skin was turning to stone. Of course, Khosrow's letter had alluded to something else. An agreement between Farhad and the king. Why does he want passage through Mount Bistun? Farhad wondered. And what wish does he speak of? Could it be Shirin? The thought angered Farhad. The princess was not a prize to be awarded.
Hop, on change d'arme. Je tape moins dur. Heureusement qu'il y a ça qui me régène.
Khosrow was not the solution to Farhad's problems. Bistun caused the blight, and no Div would bow to a king, no matter how powerful. She will be back in her castle now, Farhad tried to convince himself. All this will be behind her. Battled within Farhad, but resolve overcame both. This time, he knew what had to be done. Visit a strange place often enough, and it soon loses its mystique. But this was the memory stored within all Seed's heart. A story Farhad needed to know. What is this for? Farhad wondered. It looks like some sort of mold.
Alors, regardons chez qui, enfin, qui est encore en live et chez qui je peux mettre un lurk.
Talisman stone shattered. Molten iron flowed. Hot and angry. Farhad scoured his memories for all Seed's last words. To kill a mountain. Build something new. The mountain was clear, but build what? Why would all Seeds have a memory of a smithy? Farhad thought. After all, fire and trees do not usually well mix.
Je me trouve humblement dans le royaume des souvenirs oubliés. Je vous en prie, montrez-moi la voie, guidez mon corps fatigué pour conquérir le mont Bistun. Et nouvelle arme. Plus lente, mais certainement beaucoup plus de dégâts.
But Farhad carried it with ease.
Salut Merceux. Ah, sympa en plus en grand comme ça. On le voit bien quand il a grandi.
As he rounded the corner in the floating
Ah,
path,
coucou.
a gasp escaped Farhad's lips. Shattered remnants of his friend hung suspended in the air, unmoving, cold, lifeless.
Bon, à mon avis, je vais avoir un boss. Ça c'est bien, le temps que j'attaque avec le marteau, j'ai pas de dégâts subis. En même temps...
Do not ask for whom the bell tolls, Steve. Farhad shouted into the darkness.
it tolls for thee.
Le jeu n'est pas très axé sur le combat, donc. Et rebonjour, monsieur le boss. Hop, petite esquive. Ouais, tape que j'esquive. Je perds quand même un peu de PV. Hein. Viens ici, madame la harpie.
The bell's mighty peal rent the air, sending Bistun crashing to the floor.
This is for my friends,
Farhad cried.
Si jamais, merci, j'ai eu une petite mise à jour de 2 Go sur le jeu qu'on faisait hier soir. Je sais pas si tu l'as aussi. J'ai pas regardé ce qu'elle offre, enfin ce qu'elle améliore. Allez, fais appel à tes sbires. Pas 2 fois de suite. Oui, elle se fait quand j'ai lancé. Elle s'est fait quand j'ai lancé. D'accord. Mais je sais pas ce qu'elle offre en mise à jour. Appelle tes sbires. Voilà. Directement aller par là. À mon avis, ça va être sur le pointillé.
and for my love.
Certainement de la stabilité envers le serveur. Ah. Allez, tape et appelle tes sbires juste après. Viens ici la harpie. plus que les deux gros. Oula, un coup et je meurs. Vite avant qu'il me tape, s'il le peut. Hop, full vie. Et dernier round. Salut Banana, comment vas-tu?
But most of all, for me!
And with the last mighty blow, the Deve's crimson eye winked out.
Désolé avec ce jeu, j'essaye de ne pas trop parler comme il y a une voix off qui commente à H24 tout ce qui se passe. Du coup, je préfère écrire de temps en temps. Tu me diras, merci si c'est ça ou si ça touche à autre
The
chose.
storm within Farhad's heart rivaled the one that rent the dark skies. Bistun was defeated, but at such cost. He felt more alone than he had ever felt before.
Ouais, c'est celui que tu jouais hier, ça le léopard. Là, je l'ai joué parce que tu avais changé de char et que j'avais pas envie qu'on joue tous les deux le même. Après, on n'a pas beaucoup de chars pour l'instant pour varier. Ouais.
For the first time since he awoke on Mount Bistun, his path was clear, but he had no one to share the news with. Princess Shirin would be resting in Khosrow's quarters.
Et je vais aller voir par là. Depuis que j'ai plus le piaf, je suis un peu paumé dans l'orientation. Bon, je ne vois pas du tout par où je dois passer. Je peux plus changer d'arme. J'ai reparlé à la statue au bout, à moins que la conversation sera la même.
Farhad, what have you done? What vile sickness did you expose my love to? You have no reason to dig through the mountain any longer. Princess Shirin is dead. Your king, Khosrow.
Sa bien-aimée est morte. Non, c'est impossible. Tous ceux que j'aimais ont disparu. Je ne leur ai apporté que la mort. Mais il reste une chandelle qui brûle encore. J'ai l'impression qu'il se donne la mort, l'ombre bleue là.
Guilt consumed Farhad. He felt that this world could no longer offer him anything. But death had not ended Farhad's journey before, and it was not about to now.
C'est bien ce que je pensais, c'est donner la mort.
Instead, Farhad drew ever closer to answers. The final steps on the path laid out before him. The path that ended in the realm of forgotten memories. The fortress of oblivion awaited him. And Farhad thought of all those who had played their part in getting him here.
Profitez, j'ai bu un peu d'eau.
All seeds, with his wisdom and kind heart. Majestic Anahita, so dedicated to atoning for her greatest mistake. The beautiful princess, always out of reach. And the king, who had treated him with such disdain. But none of them mattered anymore. The whisper called to him. I called to him.
Sa bien-aimée est décédée.
Fear and foreboding chilled Farhad as he walked amongst the horrors. Exiled and forgotten people, ensnared by the blight, trapped in endless suffering, their silent screams frozen in their gullets.
En fait, il a retrouvé sa bien-aimée, sauf que dans l'histoire, il se passe quelque chose qui fait que elle est décédée. Dans les bras du roi, justement. Et sa bien-aimée, c'était justement la princesse. Histoire de concubinage. Je croyais qu'il y aurait une conversation. Bon, ben on va ramasser... Ah, j'ai pas restream, mais bon après c'est un atout avec OBS j'imagine. Je vais vérifier partout que j'ai bien. Un maximum de ces choses-là. Cette zone m'a l'air hyper grande. Ça éviterait que je regarde mon portable. Sur PC, il vaut mieux avoir 2 écrans limite même. Parce que par exemple, avec la PlayStation, je peux avoir le chat aussi sur mon écran, mais il y a certaines informations qui ne lit pas, comme les dédicaces. Et quoi, pourquoi il prend pas la huppe? Et je sens que je vais devoir faire marche arrière.
Months, Years. Decades. For how long I had called him to me, I cannot say. My voice gave out. But still, I cried out across the realms. Unimaginable agonies racked my body. Yet I never sought refuge in insanity. The wound that never heals reminded me of my mortality and my purpose.
Un bon jeu à toi, Banana. Alors, je sais pas si ça a une importance de le prendre.
I looked into Farhad's eyes and saw his pain and confusion. But even then, I saw a flicker of something else. Was it relief? Words eluded him, however. So I explained everything. I told him my name is Nizami. I was a blacksmith by day and a storyteller by night. I was banished by King Khosrow, exiled unjustly. On Mount Bistun, I was mortally wounded, but saved by the most wondrous fruit and guided by a talking tree. Then I discovered an otherworldly domain, a realm of forgotten souls. But the Div found me. I was imprisoned in the fortress of oblivion, doomed to be forgotten, teetering on the edge of oblivion. Agony poured from my wound and took form. You, Farhad, are created out of my pain, out of my wound. I told him, you are the manifestation of hope, the embodiment of purpose. I had lost count of the number of times Farhad had reached my prison, but each time he had refused my plea, refused to set me free. I knew the choice was grim, but I had to prevail. My story is not yet complete, and so I gave him a choice. Liberate me, or abandon me once more. The path to the left was where he should engrave the wise decision to set me free. Or he could add to the cruel records of abandonment to the right.
Alors, j'étais en train d'écrire pendant qu'il parlait, donc. Alors, je remonte, c'est où qu'on m'avait donné. Du coup, j'ai pas suivi la conversation. Mais c'est point grave.
Farhad's uncertainty was written on his face. So I warned him against abandoning me again. You only prolong the bitter cycle, I told him. You will lose your memories once more. Your destiny is not one of futility and confusion. And I told him that I would keep calling him, and he would come. Is that what you want? I asked. To go through all the heartache you have endured yet again? But I could not force him to see reason. If he would leave me again, I promised to send him away from this place. I would show him how to use the memory stone within his head to leave the fortress of oblivion. But what would he be escaping for? Endless wandering? Repetition without purpose?
De rien, Banana. Mais avec TweetChat, je fais beaucoup plus facilement les dédicaces. D'ailleurs, avec le SO, t'as pas les liens et tout le tralala. Par contre, avec les dédicaces de TweetChat, ce qui revient à peu près à la même chose, parce que si je me trompe pas, les dédicaces viennent directement de Twitch. Non seulement tu as le lien de la personne en plus, mais tu as une petite description de son dernier stream, donc le titre et le jeu qu'il a fait. Comme toi, par exemple, ton dernier stream, c'était, si je me trompe pas, hier, stream via RTMP, entre guillemets, tu as mis OBS, VMix et Zoom, dans la catégorie The Elder Scrolls Skyrim.
For Hard's uncertainty was written on his face. So I warned him against abandoning me again. You only prolong the bitter cycle, I told him. You will lose your memories once more. Your destiny is not one of futility and confusion. And I told him that I would keep calling him, and he would come. Is that what you want? I asked. To go through all the heartache you have endured yet again? But I could not force him to see reason. If he would leave me again, I promised to send him away from this place. I would show him how to use the memory stone within his head to leave the fortress of oblivion. But what would he be escaping for? Endless wandering? Repetition without purpose? I groaned, but I knew this was not the end. I will see you again soon. Once again, Farhad refused his destiny and condemned me to further torment. How many times he has failed me, I cannot say. Perhaps neither of us will ever be free. Perhaps the blight will spread unchecked. But my purpose still burns as fiercely as the agony in my chest. And Farhad's story has not yet ended. It cannot end yet. A wave of nausea washed over Farhad. He stumbled. Darkness closed in. He staggered on. Before oblivion drew in again. He lost consciousness again and again. Panic streaked through his muddled mind. And then he remembered my warning, the bitter cycle. With every step, his memory slipped away. I must engrave Nizami, he thought. I must not forget. Farhad sought to immortalize my story in stone, lest he forget again. And against all odds, he did it. He looked back at all the engravings he had made and found hope in them. Hope that he could walk a different path. Slowly, like the morning sun clambering over the horizon, consciousness came. He opened his eyes. How pleasant, he thought, to wake to nature's song.
Mais alors, où dois-je aller du coup? Avec toutes ces téléportations.
As he navigated the narrow paths, he breathed in the fresh mountain air. It focused his mind. Questions bobbed to the surface, like apples in water. The same questions that he had struggled to answer at the start of the last cycle. But of course, Farhad knew nothing of that. He did not even know his own name. If you recall, I promised there was more to his tale. He sought a way off the mountain, and some buried memory drew him to the tunnel he had excavated.
Je ne sais plus courir là, donc prendre son temps, pas le choix.
And the story began anew.
بگفتا دل ز مهرش کی کنی پاک، بگفتا انگه که باشم خفته در خاک، بگفتا جان مده بس دل که با اوست، بگفتا دشمنند این هر دو بی دوست، بگفتا گر خرامی در سرایش، بگفت اندازم این سر زیر پایش، بگفت او آن من شد زو مکن یاد، بگفت این کی کند بیچاره فرهاد. چو عاجز گشت خسرو در جوابش، نیامد بیش پرسیدن ثوابش. به یاران گفت کز خاکی و آبی، ندیدم کس بدین حاضر جوابی. به زر دیدم که با او بر نیایم، چو زرش نیز بر سنگ آزمایم. که ما را هست کوهی بر گذرگاه، که مشکل میتوان کردن بدو راه. میان کوه راهی کرد باید، چنان کامد شد ما را بشاید. به کوهی کرد خسرو رهنمونش، که خواند هر کس اکنون بی ستونش.
Bon, ben il m'a fallu que 2 streams pour faire l'histoire. Et le deuxième m'a pris qu'1h30. Le premier, par contre, je vais aller voir. Session découverte. Une heure et demie. Donc ça fait à peu près 3 heures de jeu pour finir l'histoire. Qui est une très bonne découverte quand même. À ce niveau-là, je suis pas mécontent. J'espère que vous avez apprécié également l'histoire et que ça vous a satisfait. Pour ceux qui sont sur les rediffs sur YouTube, n'hésitez pas à lâcher un petit follow et un petit pouce positif ou négatif dans le cas où vous avez apprécié ou pas du tout. Et un commentaire si c'est pas positif pour pouvoir que je puisse améliorer la chaîne et partir sur des évolutions qui peuvent vous plaire. Alors visiblement je sais pas passer. Ben, ça sera juste le temps de réfléchir après un autre jeu et jouer sur un autre jeu, quoi. Je pensais faire 3 lives, j'en ai fait que 2. Si je me trompe pas, il était conseillé d'en faire au moins 3. Mais entre conseiller et ce qui est réellement faisable, c'est un peu difficile, quoi. Mais voilà, je suis très satisfait du jeu quand même. Et j'espère que ça vous a plu aussi. Je vais profiter, je vais regarder sur quelle est l'heure. Non, je veux pas la musique. Tu coupes le son ici. Tu as déjà fait sur... Non, je l'ai pas encore fait. Et je sais pas s'il est sur PlayStation. Parce que sinon, je pourrais pas le stream. Non, ça c'est un jeu PC uniquement. Là, donc il n'y a pas de New Game Plus. Enfin, en même temps, il n'y a que de l'histoire. Bon, c'est dommage. En paramètres, il y a quoi? C'était déjà en français, mais voilà. Toutes les langues disponibles. Pour la langue écrite, c'est pas que la langue audio, mais c'est déjà pas mal. Et voilà, donc sur ce, je mets fin au live pour clôturer le stream, le dossier, enfin l'aventure sur The Tale of Bistun. Je me perds dans le nom entre Bistun et Bistun. Le boss, il est sur PS4. Ouais, donc il y a moyen d'avoir sur la PS5. Je regarderai. Je te promets rien, mais je regarderai. Alors, on va écrire. Voilà, comme ça, il y a également le lien vers ma chaîne YouTube avec la dernière rediff actuellement d'hier soir. Et encore, c'était certainement la rediff d'avant hier soir. J'ai la Switch, mais je ne sais pas streamer depuis la Switch. Malheureusement, j'ai pas le support. Je n'ai malheureusement pas le support. Sinon, crois-moi, j'y serai sans problème. J'ai quelques jeux que je pourrais stream depuis la Switch. Donc sur ce, je vais faire une petite pause live. Et je vous dis à tout à l'heure pour partir sur un autre jeu. Si jamais vous avez des idées ou des envies, n'hésitez pas, vous avez mon Discord également. Et si vous l'avez pas, le voici pour me proposer des jeux pour le prochain live. Alors, je regarde juste qu'il soit bien passé. Oui, il est bien passé. Et je vous dis à tout à l'heure. Je vais juste regarder, il y a qui que je peux raid. Ou pareil, si vous avez une idée de qui raid, je peux raider. Je peux raider, alors, qui fait quoi? Allez, on va raid max. Il s'y attendra pas comme ça. Allez, à tout à l'heure tout le monde et une bonne après-midi. Bye bye.